All right, guys, I took the tool trailer out on its first trip. Did well. Working on this sandpiper now. Got some stuff going on with the hydraulics. He has some issues going on with the jacks. I'm turning on the video to show you the jack stand. Because if you have to reset the level on these, 0-point calibration or something like that, you got to be able to retract all the jacks. When you got a fifth wheel standing up, you know, it's not always nice to let it nosedive all the way to the ground. So, and I might even lower my jack stand some more. But yeah, these 12-ton jack stands, this is what you need. Put it under the frame, close to the jack. And like I said, I might even lower them down a notch. They got that safety, that big lug of metal in there. But yeah, with this, I can pull the jacks up and have it resting on the, it does look a little high. I can have it, now, I don't really want to mess with it right now because his batteries are dead. All right, so I got my jacks up. This jack act like it's in bypass. After I try to let it down, it went up more. And typically what's happening is the seals are bad, the jack's in bypass, the fluid is seeping past and pushing in the other direction. It is low as well. I didn't like the way my jack was making contact, so because it's on this pad is on a bit of a crown, so I put my my big boy Pittsburgh ram jack under it for support, and I repositioned it to where the weight is pressing down on the crown side instead of on this side. So if the jack was going to lean, it would lean up to straighten it out instead of falling over. So I had to get safe with that. And plus I left the jack under it. The weight is on the jack stand, but I left the jack under it until I get this side better. And so I'm gonna fill this up to the right level. Fluid is dirty. Probably need to pump all that out, put new fluid in. I'll probably do that. Middle shavings and stuff get in the fluid. It does tear up the seals. So I might get my pump out and pump that out. All right, guys, blue light special. Let's diag this thing real quick. The jacks go up. You can hear it. Most of the times it won't come down. So intermittent issue. I caught it earlier. So this is how I'm just showing you the troubleshooting. If you don't know how the system works, don't go poking around with the Power Pro if you don't know how the system works. You don't know what the voltages are. So if you don't, just grab your multimeter that has a, let's turn some light on. Okay. So grab your multimeter and set it to max. You turn the light on this thing, okay. All right. This isn't an auto, this is a Fluke 87.5. It's not auto ranging. So I have to set the range on it first. I believe that's the right range. And you can test it with your power probe. So I can test it with my power probe to see if I'm on the right range. So when you get it on the right range, set it to max, and then go and press your button because the interior nor the exterior buttons were working. So now I'm gonna hit extend, and you can see there, I got 12 volts. So I know the buttons are working. So I didn't have to go pulling a bunch of switches apart. I went straight to the reversing solenoid, looking for the trigger. Now I see that it is getting a 12 volt trigger from the switch, now I could play around with my power probe if I needed to trigger it. So the relay in this thing is intermittent. It's going down now. It wasn't going down earlier. My whole purpose for putting them up was to check the level. So we know for fact that it's a problem, because even when it wasn't working, like it's working now. Let me move my jack out of the way. Stand my big boy jack up. So we're gonna need a reversing solenoid. This solenoid has a it has a relay inside it, and when you hit the button, it sends a trigger. This is the extend side where I have my meter. The top side here, that's the retract side. It sends 12 volts, it closes the relay, and it's supposed to latch the switch, sending this power in the middle. They're all of them are not like this. This is just how this system is. This is always hot. See? When you trigger that relay, it's sending this power either this way or this way. These are always grounds. So one becomes a hot and the other one's already a ground. So it allows the motor to spin that way. You do it the opposite on the switch, it hits the opposite side, it does it the other way. So now that we got it, we didn't really do anything but testing, because it works when it wants to work. The customer was stuck on a campsite, it didn't work. When he dropped the camper off, it did work. And then when I started working on it after I pulled the jacks up and put the jack stands under it, it wouldn't work. After probing and doing, even I sent direct power to it from my power probe. Okay, so I got my jack stands under here, since I know the hydraulics are a little wonky. So, and I don't want it to be as high as it was anyway. It's still a little hot. The legs are extended a little more than I like them. But yeah, so this guy is what we need. We need the reversing solenoid, because we know our switches are good. Now that that's working, I can let the rooms out, because I couldn't get the rooms out because the trombona wasn't working. So now I can get the slides out so I can get to the breaker box, which is over there. Can't get to it because I need to troubleshoot the electrical on the 110 side, and having a problem doing that with the rooms closed. He also had another issue with the hydraulics, whereas the rooms were drifting out as he was driving down the road. So that's pretty scary. That also shows like bypass issue. All right, and then there's another slide back there in the bedroom that goes out last. See, this hydraulics, it's all pumped together. Okay, I can hear the motor change. All right, so now I can get to the electrical. I'm gonna call it a night. You know, I probably work till 9 o'clock, but yeah, room's drifting out. We got a cylinder somewhere that's in bypass. I gotta find it. I gotta do cylinder bypass test on all of them. The jack's not extending to get the thing off the truck. He left the camper on the truck the whole time he was camping because he couldn't get him off. That's gonna be that reversing solenoid. So I'm gonna get some parts ordered, and I'll keep troubleshooting the hydraulics. Definitely got to do a flush on this one. The fluid is super dirty and it's low. So I'll be bringing everything back in after I sort out. He has a dead short somewhere on the 110 to where his breakers keep tripping. You know, with nothing plugged in, the breakers are tripping. So he has a dead short in the outlet somewhere. A lot of times people put a space heater on something, it's too much, or it heats it up. And those little rinky-dink outlets that they use in campers, you know, you bounce the thing down the road a couple times, the wire pops out and touches the ground. So I'll sort that out, but at least we got a little headway on it, because I was on the road a lot today and I didn't get to look at this until now. So now that we got it sorted out a little bit, we got some directions to go. At least I got an answer for the customer if he calls. You know, it just came here over the weekend. You know, I plan to work on it tomorrow, but I wanted to at least look at it today. All right, that's what we got. RV Tech Pro out.